You have neither forgiven nor forgotten those who committed crimes against your people. How do you expect the Palestinians to forgive and forget the crimes you have committed and continue to commit against them?
I am not making any account with the past. My eyes are set for the future. I think what happened, happened. And I think we don't have to return all the time to history for the simple reason that we cannot correct history. We can correct the future. So to forgive and forget is a good advice for everybody, if you can really provide to your children and our children a better future. And that is our preference.
Would you like to come back?
Yes. So how do you expect to bring peace? I mean, it goes on and on. It's never going to stop in that sense. I mean, there has to be a stop to all this.
It's a good question, and I shall give you a real answer. You know, there were 4 wars between us and Egypt. Many Egyptians were killed, many Israelis were killed. And one day, in spite of all the victims, of all the hatred, of all the misunderstanding, we made peace. The same goes with the Jordanians. Again, we were at war, we attacked each other. There were many victims, some of them innocent, and in spite of it, we make peace. The same will happen with the Palestinians. If you have had once a war, it doesn't mean that you have to repeat it eternally in the future. You have to bring a stop, and you cannot accuse one generation for the wrongdoing of the previous generation. Because we want the whole world and each of us to become better and not to repeat the same wrongs and the same mistakes.
Question, please, from Zayed Abdul Qadir.
You personally have been involved in many wars and have fought for over 60 years. Isn't it a fact that Israel's policy of military deterrence has been a failure?
No. You know, I have to divide the history, the past, into 2 parts. The first 30 years were years of war and bellicose and craziness, if you want. Israel was attacked 5 times. Israel was outgunned, outmanned, outnumbered, if you want, and we have had to defend ourselves. The last 30 years, there was an introduction of peace, and the whole policy has changed. We went over from an emphasis on the military to an emphasis of the politics. And we have made 4 attempts to make peace. Twice we succeeded, twice we failed. We succeeded with Egypt and Jordan. We failed with the Palestinians and the Lebanese. And you ask why? The answer is obvious. Egypt and Jordan have a government, have an army, have a policy, have an address. Alas, the Palestinians and the Lebanese have many armies and no army, have many governments and no government. Their division is our tragedy, not only theirs. We would like to see the Palestinians being united under one flag, one government, one army, one policy, and then I assure you, peace will come rather promptly. The nature of the conflict today stems more from the division within the Palestinians than the differences between us and the Palestinians. And really I pray that the Palestinians will unite, and we shall do with them what we did with the Jordanians and the Egyptians, the same.
Let's take a question, if we may, please, from Awa Al-Baji. Awa Al-Baji.
Your country is said to be holding 9,000 Arab prisoners, including women and children. When Hezbollah captured 2 Israeli soldiers, you bombed Lebanon for 30 days and killed 1,200 Lebanese, most of which are civilians. What do you think you achieved from such a devastation?
Well, it's a little bit more complicated than you describe. The Lebanese penetrated the land of Israel. We don't know what for, because we left Lebanon completely in accordance with the United Nations. The Secretary General of the United Nations has praised us for doing it. And after we tried to release, to save the life of the soldiers, the Hezbollah started to bomb and send rockets that hit Haifa, which is a city far away from Lebanon. What for? Can you explain to me? Whom is Hezbollah serving but the Iranians? We didn't touch Lebanon. We left the land. We didn't touch the water. We implemented completely the United Nations resolution. You know, most of the Lebanese don't understand what Hezbollah is doing. Why are they fighting? What for?
The question was what you think you achieved.
We didn't invite it, sir. We didn't invite the bombing of Israel.
No, but what do you think you achieved?
We achieved our defense. We forced them to stop it.
But by devastating parts of southern Lebanon?
Nasrallah, the leader of Hezbollah, said,